All right. We will give it a minute or two and give people a chance to join. For those of you just joining, welcome. We're just going to wait just a minute or two before we get started. Thinking maybe 2 minutes and we'll go for it. Joe, can you see my screen okay?
Yep, I can see it okay, and I'll just be watching out for the questions, and we'll go along the way and make it happen.
Perfect. I like it. All right. 1 more minute. For those of you that have joined already, like Joe was saying, he's going to be watching for questions. So just a reminder to use that Q&A function. He'll be monitoring that and kind of answering things as they come up, or we'll pause and talk about your question as we go. Probably 1 more minute and we'll get going. See, we still have some people trickling in. Oh, all right. I say we go for it. 12:02, let's just jump in. So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is kind of an experiment hosting one of these on a Saturday. We weren't sure if it was going to be a good time or not, and it seems like it is. So I am Katie Smith. I'm your host today. I'm really excited to have snagged Mr. Zamko as a co-host. Joe, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, Joe Zamko from the Central Oregon Adair branch. So looking forward to partnering with Katie on this open house that she did over in Cresswell. So we'll leave it up to you, Katie.
Okay, so I am, like Joe said, I'm in Cresswell. I am a home ownership counselor for Adair. And Joe and I have been challenged to try to come up with some things to share on this open house that maybe we haven't ever shared before. So we're gonna really dig deep and try to surprise you. But this is the house I'm showing you today. This is a replacement build that we did as a result of the wildfires of 2020. So this is one I'm excited to share. This family did some really cool modernizations or customizations because their property is right on the river and they wanted to take full advantage of river views. So this is Adair's 1950 square foot. We call it the Alexander plan. And what you're looking at right now is our website. So you will see if you go to our website, all of our pre-engineered floor plans are there and all of the current pricing is there for your neighborhood or your area. And then what I like you to know is that as you're looking at these plans, you'll see that there's kind of these pre-put together exterior elevation options. And what's good to know about these is that they can be customized. So this is kind of a starting point or something to get your imagination going. But for example, if you're looking at this traditions elevation of the Alexander and you're like, I like it, but I wish there was cedar shake here in this gable, or I wish there was a dormer window or cultured stone or different trim or what have you. Those are all options to you. This is just kind of a starting point. So the house I'm going to show you today is a 1950 signature elevation. And what you should know about the outside of our house is that this is all a fiber cement siding. It's James Hardie brand. It's got a 50-year warranty. The roof is a 50-year shingle. The windows are all a lifetime vinyl window, and that is standard regardless of which plan or elevation you select. In this case, the signature is going to give you this lap siding at the bottom half of the house and then a batten board in the peaks and this kind of distintal rail here separating the two sidings and then trim around all the windows and doors all the way around the house. Okay, this is the standard floor plan. So you're going to come in through the front door here into your entry space. You've got this massive open concept feel. So great room, dining, kitchen, sliding door going out the back. Then down the hallway, you've got your utility room and furnace space. You've got the first bathroom. the 3 bedrooms, and then your primary suite back here in the corner with the ensuite bathroom. Now, I will show you the house we're going to look at today and what they did to their floor plan. Joe, can you see
I'm
the
going to
plan?
jump in real quick,
Yes,
Katie,
please.
too.
Yeah.
Also, one thing to keep in mind too, folks, is, if you wanted to have the garage on the side elevation of the house instead of the front, because currently, as you'll see, the plan has no interior access inside the home. So depending on your area, we get a lot of snow in Central Oregon. So people are like, oh my gosh, I cannot walk outside. So to each their own, and you're going to see that's what's so phenomenal about Adair is we allow so many customizations and modifications to allow you to truly build your dream home. So that's why you would meet with Katie or myself, so we can actually articulate and put together what your dream is for an affordable price. So this is actually pretty exciting. There are some modifications, obviously, on the interior elevation of the home. So please share with us more, Katie.
Yes, I love that. Thank you. Okay, so compared to the standard floor plan, so we're still coming in here at our entry, but they have reversed this entire space. So river being back here, they wanted to just maximize the view towards the river. So we put the kitchen up here in the front corner, and then this room with all these added windows is going to be facing the river, and patio, of course, facing the river as well. Down the hallway, not a ton of changes. We did recess this space a little bit, and the idea here was that if someday there's a need for a wheelchair, there's kind of good turnaround or good movement space here. Primary suite kind of absorbed that 3rd bedroom. So this is a massive primary suite with closet, walk-in closet, and then big ensuite bathroom. For the most part, our changes happened out here in the great room. But then we added windows and little fun things like that throughout. Any questions?
Another kind of exciting thing that you can do with our homes is, say for access and for doors into bedrooms, you can also make those 3.0 doors, so 3-foot wide doors. So always keep your mind open when it comes to options. A lot of times if you go higher ceilings in our homes, you want taller doors on the interior to go with that. So that's just kind of a really nice piece to add. I love that they have the vault in here, and I'm excited to see it. One of the things that you never want to forego would be anything that's a structural modification. I always share with my clients, it's extremely important to make sure you get the home structured the way you want it. All of the fancies, whether it's upgraded flooring, tile shower, things like that, those are things that are ideally important to folks, but really getting the house structure the way you want it, you can't change it later. So if you want 10-foot ceilings with, a big gable out the back door, you see how the vault runs left to right here. You could also run it the other way and have your covered porch out there. We see a lot of that, Katie. I know you've done a lot of houses that way as well. So what's really nice is we work with any budget. So I'm excited for Katie to share more. So thanks, Katie.
I totally agree. And I share the same too, let's get the structure in place, and then other things can be changed throughout the years. But one great thing to Joe's point too, is that we're going to give you a quote with all your, hopes and dreams listed out. So then you can go through, if you get to a point where you're at the top of your budget and you have to choose what stays and what goes, it's really easy to kind of start prioritizing. All right, you make the cut, you don't, kind of a thing. Should we jump into it? Should we go to the video? Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So I am going to just kind of pause as we go. Joe and I will both have things we want to chat about. So we'll pause. The video goes pretty quickly. But first thing I'm going to say before I even push play is you might notice this extra tall stem wall here, this extra tall foundation. So what happened here is that they are building in a floodplain. You'll see the rivers right out the back door. So in my jurisdiction, you go to the county, you ask for a flood certificate, they send a surveyor out and they say, okay, here's the elevation you're at right now. Here's where you need to be out of the floodplain. We take that certificate and then we bid for and build to meet the requirements from the jurisdiction. Is that pretty similar to what you, how your jurisdictions do it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Same kind of situation here. you'd be looking at the same thing. I just actually noticed something kind of cool. It looks like that door from the garage, is that covered by that patio there, Katie?
It is, yeah, yep,
Nice. Awesome.
yes. They'll come right out, same height, so their plan here, you'll see the deck ledger. Their
Okay.
plan is to put in a deck, so you go right out the deck, you can go into your garage and down the steps or right into the front door.
So really kind of what you're showing today a little bit is our clients, what we do is Adair is responsible for the foundation to finish of the home. And then when it comes to anything in addition, so that it looks like they've just put kind of temporary steps to go inside of the home, but they're going to build their deck after they get certificate of occupancy. In addition to any concrete, slabs or aprons in front of the garage. So I just want people on the call today that are listening to be aware that we do have subcontractors and folks that we partner with to help give you a total cost analysis, so you're fully clear on everything that is expected and a cost. And what's new is this house was probably an owner to do when it came to the exterior paint, interior paint, site cleanup, things like that. That's now included in our base price. That's a really critical upgrade for us. That really, hey, you get to lean back a little bit and let Adair take a lot more ownership in helping you build your dream home.
Exactly. Yeah. No requirement for owners to be on site during the build. We're going to do the dry out and the paint and the cleanup. So you just design it and wait for move-in, essentially. Okay, let's play the movie. And I will just pause, like I said, and turn that music off. And actually, I'm going to make it bigger too. Sorry. Now we can play. So right away, you're walking in the front door. This is a 3-foot interior, or 3-foot entry door. It's a Therma-Tru door. We have paint grade or stain grade, or really like hundreds and hundreds of options, honestly, for your front door. If you want French doors, if you want side lights, if you want a transom, so many options. But what you're going to see here is this massive great room space. So right away, you walk into just this big open room. And I will pause.
Hey, Katie, you mentioned a transom window. Do you mind sharing that with folks, what exactly that is?
Oh, yeah. So I guess I don't know if this is a proper definition, but just kind of a long, narrow window that goes higher up. So above the door in this case is what I was thinking. They can be fixed, they can be sliders, but
okay.
Yeah.
So like over even on these windows over here on the elevation on the side, if they did a 2-foot tall by a same width of that window, just to add some additional lighting, that could be an option potentially, depending on the size of their ceiling, correct?
Totally.
Okay. Awesome.
And then Joe, since we're looking at this, you had talked earlier about a rotated vault with that kind of patio following that same vault line right out. So what he's seeing then is, instead of the vault running side to side here in this room, you have an option of turning it and then just having this whole wall of massive windows looking out towards the river. Or you can even follow the vault line up on this wall and have just tons of windows if that's something you're interested in. So in this room, obviously you can see the vault. We did a luxury vinyl plank flooring throughout, and I love Shaw's luxury vinyl plank option. The one that they did has a lifetime warranty, which is amazing. And then of course it's waterproof, so it can go anywhere in this house. Okay, I could talk about the kitchen for hours, so I'm gonna get a little bit better angle and then we'll chat here. So first of all, when you look at our plans when you're online and you see the kitchen layout, just know that it's an idea. It's kind of a, hey, here's a good use of this space. Cabinets are all made to order by our sister company, Ridgecrest. So you could go in there and be like, okay, it's a good starting point, but actually I want more cabinets down this wall. I want to eliminate these cabinets. I want the island to be 2 heights or larger or what have you. They're all made to order. So you're the shot caller here in the kitchen. In this kitchen.
The other thing we've kind of seen in some of these kitchens too is, that's angled over there, right? As far as the cabinet, we do have options where you can just have it straight. Some of our plans already come with like a straight island that doesn't have any angle to it. Some people like the angle, some people like both sides angled. Some people like their sink, right next to their dishwasher. So to each their own again, just remember when you're designing your dream home here with a homeownership counselor like myself or with Katie, we're here to kind of help make sure you capture all those design items that are important to you and your family. As you'll see, you have all the cabinets on the bottom and drawers on top. You could turn those all into bank of drawers if you chose to. You could have cabinets that have slide out shelves. I mean, the options are unlimited. So keep that in mind as we kind of navigate through this home. But again, just a beautiful home with that fixed window in the back. That's one of the first things that I saw when you started the video. Fixed window as to where there's nothing that's going to get in your way, right? So you'll see the window on the right and the left side, and those are SH is what they're called. So they're single hung, so they go up and down, and SL are sliders, so they go left to right. So very, very beautiful. Nice touch there.
Definitely kind of brings the outside in. And then back to that island, Joe, I've seen a house that you did where the island was almost the size of, I mean, it looked like 2 king beds smashed together. It was massive. So you can do, and we'll tell you like, okay, here's the breaking point for requiring a seam, or but so many options. And then a lot, or really popularly lately, I've been doing the rimrock edge here on this countertop. So it looks like it's super thick. And then also the waterfall edge. So you actually take your solid surface and turn the corners, and it just looks like a slab of solid surface surrounding that island. In this one, so this is a trash compactor that the customer provided. So they basically said, here's the specs for my trash compactor. And our cabinet shop said, perfect, we will meet those requirements. And then we added an outlet behind. So they just brought this thing in, plug and play, it's ready to use. These are quartz countertops that you're seeing. I'll pause again. I should have known. I'll just want to talk about the kitchen. We have granite, we have quartz, we have laminate, high definition laminate options. When we do a solid surface, we automatically upgrade this sink to an undermount. So you can see they've got this super deep single bowl stainless steel sink here. There's other options, you know, there's a wrapped cast, there's a farm sink, there's double bowl. So lots of other choices here. This is a knotty alder cabinet. So you could do this same cabinet, this shaker style, this tobacco stain without the knots, and it would be considered a standard. So that's already included in our base price. And we met with the cabinet shop just a couple of days ago, and they are winning awards all over the country. Our cabinet shop is incredible. But they noted that one of their most popular woods is the beech. So beech is durable, it colors well, it holds that color, and that's what we do as a standard cabinet, which is nice to know. We've got, pause again. So they added here, they wanted a window facing out to the driveway. So they added just some lower cabinets kind of going, breaching that space between the edge of the uppers and the front door over here. So they've just got maximum counter space. Like Joe said, they could have chose to do all drawers here. They can do a trash drawer or a wine rack. A really popular upgrade I've been doing lately is taking the uppers and adding a small box above. So you have like these cute decorative glass cabinets above all of the upper cabinets. I've also seen, I think on one of your houses where they did just a wall of storage. So cabinets all the way to the ceiling.
Yeah, that it seems, depending on the ceiling height, I think, is this an 8-foot plate height on this one? So, I mean, you're not going to be jumping to try and grab them, but I've seen it on 9-foot ceilings. It ends up being pretty tall up there, pretty high. So if you're 6'3" like me, then sure, you can reach up there, but for others it might be a challenge. But I like how they continued out that backsplash wrap around the window there, and they continued it out over that the lower cabinets there. And then sometimes people, when you think, I know, and this kind of sounds weird, like, oh my gosh, how would I ever forget this? But you've got the dishwasher on the left-hand side. I've always been accustomed to the right-hand side dishwasher. So like, make sure you get those adjustments in, because trying to get that changed later just won't happen. So it's all those little things that's why Katie and I do what we do every day to serve you and make sure that we capture all those details. Um, I've seen a lot of the hood vents too, where there's no cabinet and they're just doing that single hood vent going straight through the ceiling.
Mhm,
Um, I love our recessed cam lights in the kitchen. I mean, there's a
mhm,
lot of good lighting, especially with those undermount lights underneath the cabinets.
mhm.
Look really nice.
Agreed. Lots of good light coming in here, lots of natural light as well. Um, so what they did here, as a standard, we're gonna do Whirlpool brand stainless steel glass top 30-inch range insert with a microwave hood and a dishwasher. These guys did what we call our gourmet kitchen. So they did Whirlpool brand again, but they've got a built-in here, a built-in oven here, built-in microwave, and then an under cabinet hood instead of a microwave hood and a dishwasher. We have a couple of upgrades with KitchenAid and Whirlpool for our appliances, but you also have the choice of just bringing in your own. So you could say, all right, I found this 36-inch gas range I want to use, and we would just plan accordingly and customize our cabinets accordingly. Joe
One
talked
important
about
thing,
that.
yeah, one important thing to those appliances, make sure you have a spec those out too. So if you have a specific appliance that you're looking to put in, definitely let us know so we can put that in the option while we're building the quote for your house. Because if there's certain kind of electricity that's needed for it, venting, there's a lot of things that come up. You just think it's a normal appliance, but we just want to make sure that we capture all the details that are important there.
Absolutely. And I just built with Adair, and I did what you were talking about. I had 9-foot ceilings and I went all the way to the ceiling with my cabinets. And I have found the same thing, that I just keep a step stool there. Otherwise I cannot see what's happening on that top shelf, but I'm never going to complain about storage. So it's good to have options and just to customize these houses to best fit your needs. When we met with the cabinet shop, they were saying lately really popular upgrades are doing, rather than this traditional crown that we include with our upper cabinets, more of like a flat stock, kind of more of a shaker style to really match the shaker, has been super popular. And then open shelving. So you could choose to match your facade here and just do open shelving down these walls rather than upper cabinets. More shots of the kitchen.
Hey, Katie, since we kind of went over, we've passed a couple pretty good angles on some of those windows there. Do you
Yeah.
mind sharing us? Is that kind of the standard that we have there around those windows?
Okay. Are we talking trim or window
Yes.
sizes?
Yep.
Kim.
Yep. The
Okay.
wrap.
Let this roll just a little bit. So
Yep. You got it.
as a standard, we're going to leave them just like this drywall wrap. So just a really clean kind of whatever paint color is on the walls, we're going to incorporate into that windowsill and surround. But you could choose to do just with a sill here with an apron. You can do a full wrap. So basically what we did around this door, you could do around each window. We're gonna do the baseboards and the wrap around the doors as a standard. That's just included in the base price. But you can choose to elaborate on it. So you could do like a really intricate or tall kind of facade here around, rather than they did a craftsman style, so kind of a clean, simple look. You can even call out exactly what you want. So if none of the packages kind of fit the vision that you have, you could say, all right, I want a 6-inch flat stock baseboard. I want this around the doors. I want this around the windows. Really, there's, unlimited options, it seems like, for trim and finish carpentry.
And
What's
when we
most
talk
important?
flat stock,
Yeah.
folks, really it's just flat on the top of the trim, right? So there's no beveled edge, there's no design to it. It's just a real clean cut design. We also do offer naughty alder trim. So we've had some customers that are like, I want it to be clear stain or stained the same color as my cabinets. We can also do naughty alder interior trim doors. The trim here is all going to be paint grade MDF. So just keep that in mind as far as when it comes to the trim. But again, let us help you design your home as far as what fits best, as far as your budget and all that good stuff.
Totally. One really cool thing that Adair is doing now is, like we talked about, interior paint and caulking. So whereas in the olden day, you would do, as a homeowner, you would do your own caulking and painting of all of your trim. That's now just included. And having just done that myself, that is I can't even put a value on that. That's amazing that Adair just does that now. Let's play a little bit more. So we've just got this big, great room. Vaulted ceilings. They added the recessed lights in this great room. As a standard, there's not lights on the ceiling in that room, so it's totally up to you by preference if you like lights. I'll pause here. So we've got kind of this designated entry space. Really popular in Crestwell. I don't know about Redmond, but to have kind of a separate flooring here. So I'll a lot of times do a tile. I've done chandeliers here, just kind of really like decorate out the foyer, the entry space. I've also added kind of a half wall here or a full 3/4 wall just to give it even more of like just a dedicated entry. But in this case, I really love how you come in, it's just this big grand room. Okay, going down the hallway, we've got our standard storage here. So in this case, because there's not really a coat closet right in the entry, you round the corner, you've got coat closet on one side of this and then built-in linen shelves on the other. Right across the way is that laundry room. And they kept that because it's waterproof. They just kept that luxury vinyl plank flowing throughout this house. What you're seeing here is the furnace. And if you don't want to see this, it's absolutely an option to have an enclosure built around it. And then there's a standard, typically a window here. So they converted the window to a half light door. Just again, if you can see the river from this room, why wouldn't you?
It's a great spot too. You know, if you're out and working in the yard or something like that, and you come inside, your laundry room's right there. So kind of makes it nice and easy. Typically there's enough room for like a utility sink as well. So that would always be something that would be a great option there as well. I like it. That's one of my favorite parts is having that door in the back there. I've had people do a dog wash, you know, for pets and stuff like that. Just do a tile dog wash right there. Not anything big, you know, but 36 inches by 24 inches. And, you know, just scrub your dog off before you bring them inside, especially by the river.
I like that. And then again, I mean, Ridgecrest cabinets, you're not limited to just doing custom cabinets in the kitchen. You could choose to do, so lately we've been doing a handful of the stackable washer dryers. So just adding even more usable space in a utility room. And then you could do a built-in bench or lockers or storage of some sort. You can also really easily just do a 5-foot cabinet over your washer and dryer if you prefer to kind of hide away your soaps rather than that standard shelf that comes with it. All right. Going down the hallway a little bit more, we've got bathroom 2. So this is a guest bath. We have made a few modifications to our base package since this house was ordered. So this light fixture is not our standard anymore, although brushed nickel is still our standard. So brushed nickel lights and plumbing and doorknobs is all kind of the base level for us. This vanity does have room for 2 sinks, so they could have opted to have 2 in here, 1 being the standard. And then of course, Moen, we use Moen everything. So we've got our Moen brushed nickel fixture there, undermount porcelain sink because they did a solid surface countertop. And then that is, rather than the standard tub shower combo, they did just a fiberglass shower insert. But oh my gosh, for showers, sky's the limit. We've been doing a lot of what I call shower caves lately. Just massive walk-in splash wall type ordeals. So this is a nice clean option here in this bathroom, this guest bathroom.
If rain showers are up your alley, we definitely have done them too. So
yes, I love that. And then subway tile backsplash is our standard. So this is included in the base. You could choose to take this solid surface if you wanted to just keep that going right up the wall. You could absolutely do that. We use Imser tile. So there's, gosh, probably about 100 other options here if you're not into the subway tile.
You could also opt out of the mirrors as well. So you'll see that all the bathrooms has mirrors, and sometimes people want to opt out of those and be able to go get your own mirrors. That's absolutely acceptable. So keep that in mind as well. It's a lot easier to do that now than try to pull it off the wall later. So a lot of you will probably recognize that for sure. So
Okay, so in this first bedroom, this is a standard carpet you're seeing. It's kind of hard to really gauge the color here, but we've got a couple of standards to choose from. And then they also could have chose to keep that luxury vinyl plank. They wanted kind of a softer, warmer feel in here, which is, I think, pretty standard for us. We do a lot of carpet in bedrooms. They did recessed lights on the ceiling, so they kept that recessed light look throughout. You could also do like a ceiling fan or just a single light or really anything for electrical. Got our standard closet with those bypass doors. You could totally do French doors. Just a nice size room, nice size guest room. All right, over here, very similar second guest room, a little bit larger window. We've got it facing the side here. Then that standard closet with the bypass doors again. Outlets inside are about every 8 feet. So these bedrooms are pretty loaded up with electrical outlets. And then right across the way, this massive primary suite. All right, so once we get in here, so again, we've got those recessed lights again. As a standard, we do a 6-foot window in the primary suites, which you could easily convert to a sliding door or atrium door, French doors, if you want some kind of patio cover, maybe a hot tub out the back. And then they added a couple of windows over here because this house just has views out every window. So why not? All 4 sides have great views. Primary closet. We're going to do shelf and pull on any wall that we can fit it. So for example, this closet's got the door opening over here on the right. So we did shelf and pull all the way around these 2 walls. What are common changes? Do you do a lot of changes in closets?
Not really. I mean, sometimes I've had people do 2 sets of closet shelves, shelf and pull. I've had that, but a lot of times you would really need a 9-foot ceiling height in order to do that successfully. So your stuff isn't dragging on the ground, and then you can effectively use the shelves above. This house, you also can do the extended primary suite. And if you saw the plans in the beginning, these folks went ahead and combined one of the bedrooms into the primary suite. So if you did need that additional bedroom and you needed the true 4 bedrooms, but you just wanted to make that a little bit bigger, that is an option that we do have available as well. So
we like to put attic access and crawl space access in this primary closet. Not a requirement, but that's as a standard usually where they go by default. But that is just a reminder, there's tons of storage in this house. So wherever there's not a vault, you've got attic. Lots of good storage up above these rooms. And then into their primary bath. So we did again in this one, whereas the standard is a fiberglass tub shower combo, we swapped that out for just the shower insert. Typically, when we do a fiberglass shower, we're going to do a glass door here. You could choose to just, if you preferred a curtain, you could do a tension rod there instead, but the glass door comes with that shower. And then Joe was talking about the rainfall shower head earlier. So, I mean, we can have shower heads on either side. I've done shower head above shower head before, just so they're kind of stacked, one on the ceiling. You could do tile all the way up. You could add a splash wall.
You could also, I've had people delete like that closet, for example, just to make a larger, I've had people do like a 7-foot by 4-foot big walk-in tile shower. We'll also have roll-in tile showers. Just keep in mind, if you do a roll-in tile shower where literally if somebody's in a wheelchair or some does not want to step or a curb, it also gives them the ability to not have to step into that. But you would be required to put tile on the floor inside the bathroom, because the luxury plank vinyl, even though it's waterproof, the curb actually protects it from getting all wet. So but yeah, the fiberglass showers actually are really good size, and they have those 2 almost seating areas in them,
the little
actually.
benches.
They're actually a pretty good darn size. So
agreed. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you could even add an additional shower head just on that other wall right there, but that's a good size shower there.
And you've mentioned a couple times now some of those ADA requirements. So Like you said, you were talking about 3-foot doors, wider
Yeah.
hallways, grab bars, taller toilets. Any requirements you have or you're planning for in the future, we can build to meet. So it's good to keep that in mind. Let's see here. We've got this built-in linen closet. Our camera crew never opens the closets, which I'm always so nosy. I want to look in all the closets and cupboards, and they're so respectful of it. So, nice built-in shelves in here, good linen storage. And then you can see this just really long vanity with 2 sinks. Whenever we can accommodate 2 sinks in a primary suite, that's the standard. So, and then those same Moen, that brushed nickel. We've got a towel bar. And then as a standard now, we're going to do a vanity light over each sink. So rather than one in the middle, you've got one over each sink. Lately, I've been doing a lot of I'm going to say spa-like features. So heated tile floors, heated towel holders, heat lights on the ceiling, fun stuff like that. And then we've also done kind of when there's space for it, with your tile showers, built-in benches, and just so many options to really customize or make it fit your needs better.
I've also seen where a lot of people are doing like pendant lights down the hallway. So that's
Oh,
actually a new trend, which is a little unique.
great.
So instead of having like recessed can lights or the mushroom lights that we currently have in our hallways, you can do pendant lights that are not as long, so they're a little bit shorter, but they're actually pretty neat. We
Yeah,
also
more of
do
a statement.
sconces as well. So if you wanted on the each side of a bathtub or something like that, a little bit of lighting. You can dictate that too with the electrician as far as the height, as far as where you want it. And that's I think really important to be able to decide where you want that specifically.
One thing that I've been doing recently is, and this would take a lot of foresight or good planning, but for artwork, like you're talking about sconces. So if you have some art pieces you really want to draw attention to, just getting the wiring there for your wall mount lights over those. So many options for electrical. So outside here, you're seeing customer provided paint, which we can of course do. Sherwin-Williams, we use Sherwin-Williams paint here. That's you use Sherwin-Williams too, right? That's company wide. Okay.
Yeah, that's standard. Yet.
So again here, so with their flood certification, they've got this taller stem wall. So we added the deck ledger here, and they can specify exactly where they want this ledger. So they could have had it running all the way across the back. They could have also customized this patio cover to run all the way across the back. So this is exactly what they needed here. But if you need something different, if you're somebody who wants the whole outdoor kitchen set up, the plumbing, the gas line, all of that to have an outdoor kitchen, you can absolutely customize or modify this space back here. But their thought here with the ledger is that eventually they're going to just build out this massive deck and just have this big outdoor living space on the deck.
Absolutely beautiful property as well. And you'll see as you look around the house, both on the front and the rear elevation and the side elevations, you'll see all those rectangles. Those are to where water can just flow directly through underneath through the crawl space and not affect the home. So obviously with this being out of flood zone, there's some pretty hefty requirements. So I'm really proud that Adair is able to build in some of these more challenging environments or lot conditions and things of that nature. So if you ever have your lot and you really want somebody to take a look at it, let us as professionals, we unlike other builders, we will send our superintendents out to the site to do a site evaluation. So they'll walk the lot, talk about home placement, discuss with your jurisdiction, really partner with you and collaborate with you to ensure you know your property in and out. And that's even before you purchase it as well. So say, for example, these folks already own their property, we're still going to do that complimentary site inspection, and we're still going to do jurisdictional items associated with the property. But say, for example, you're interested in a piece of property, well, make sure you put in a 14 to 21 day contingency inside your offer with your real estate agent to ensure that we have the ability to go out to the site and check for feasibility and all those good items that we go over with our clients. So something that's really important. So if you don't have an agent, reach out to Katie or myself. We have real estate partners that can help source you, find you land, and help what you're looking for. So.
And Joe, will you just elaborate, what is that kind of that contingency period you called it? What does that mean?
Yeah, so really a contingency period is that way you can walk away, right? So say for example, the property you discuss with the jurisdiction and the county's like, hey, the whole back of the house is in a floodplain. We don't have a flood cert on file. It's going to take 6 months to get it. Well, you as the purchaser of the property can decide, well, what kind of hoops is that going to look like, and what kind of adventures is that going to bring, right? Or say, for example, it's a sloped lot, right? Say there's a 10-foot elevation change from the front of the house to the back of the house. Well, what is that cost going to be? Well, our superintendents do a phenomenal job. We'll try and help. Maybe we do a daylight basement. Maybe we have it dug out. And there's so many different options. So I just want everybody on this call to realize that you're not just stuck with what our plans are. Make it your own. That's what we're here to do. Create and modify and really be able to help you build your dream home. So like, hey, if this lot had a bunch of elevation, they may have put the garage on the side because that garage is 20 feet depth, right? So if there is a 10-foot elevation change, now maybe you're at a 4 to 6 foot elevation change, which then changes your cost for your foundation cost, excavation costs, etc.
Mm-hmm. And kind of elaborating on that point, speaking to the kind of customizations we can do. So for example, these properties and a lot of the burn down replacements we did upriver in those waterways had a grandfathered in build area, meaning here's the footprint you can build on, you cannot go an inch out of it. So it was absolutely an option to be able to, start with a plan and then bring a wall in or bring a wall out or modify it to fit that approved space. And the idea behind everything really that Joe's talking about is just that we want to set you up for success. We don't want you to get in over your head. We don't want you to be miserable throughout this. So we want to help you make sure you have a property that's going to fit your requirements, so that you can build that house that you want within budget and stay, where you're comfortable. So Joe, if someone was to come into you and say, okay, hey, I haven't found property, but I'm interested, what do you do?
Yeah, so typically what I would do is I've got 2 or 3 real estate partners that I partner with here in Central Oregon, and I would connect you with a real estate partner that specializes in land. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, keep in mind in Central Oregon, there's like 2,500 real estate agents, right? So I want to find somebody that knows land in and out and that can really understand the property and actually research the property prior to just writing up an offer on a piece of land. And I think that's really critical because we want to be able to get our boots on the ground with that agent. And then so we're all together there. Everybody's on the same page and knows exactly the direction, the budget. But even more importantly, before you even go to find that land, with the rates all over the place right now, do yourself a favor and get pre-approved. I mean, there's nothing like, hey, you're going to a car lot, right? And that big, like fancy F-350 pickup truck that you're so in love with is $100,000, but you checked actually like 6 months ago and it was 80,000. So you want to make sure that you can comfortably afford and not be house poor, right? And I think what I really appreciate about Adair is our pricing is very transparent. You know exactly what you're getting. And the only variables that you're going to have when it comes to building is going to be your site development. Everything outside of that, within your contract, within your build of your home, that's going to be a locked price as long as you meet our price protection of 120 days.
Yes. And as far as you mentioned talking to a lender, knowing your budget, getting pre-qualified. So of course we have in-house financing. We have Adair Financial. And the beauty of Adair is that they have a soft credit pull option. So even if you're just kind of kicking tires, like, hey, this, I don't know, this will work for me, I'm just fact finding, you can reach out to Adair. You can find out what you're qualified for if you're qualified. That way, you're starting off on the right foot with your research and planning. You know the numbers, you know what you have to work with. And I just had someone locked in. Adair has a adjustable rate program right now, 5.25. So that was a nice surprise. And then I also just got an appraisal back from someone we build over on the coast. So we just got a 40% equity position back on an appraisal at the coast. So we're still seeing good rates and good appraisals, which is amazing. What about in Central Oregon? Same.
Yeah, same thing here. Obviously people are a little bit skeptical about the rates right now. But when you really boil down, you're getting a brand new customized home that nobody's lived in versus buying something that's 10, 15, 20 years old, used, right? And maybe doesn't have the stuff that you want. So I really love the build option. And I've built an Adair home, and it's the same thing, able to customize, make it the way you want it. I think that's what's so nice is there's so many things when you're looking at a home that you're like, gosh, I want to change this, or I don't want this wall there, or oh man, if it only had one more bedroom, or if it only had this. Doing a lot of the electrical stuff afterwards is a pain. So make sure you get all your lighting you need, all the recess cam lights and plugs where you want them. I have a lot of people like in the pantries, for example, that want to plug there for like a microwave or a fridge, an additional fridge or something like that. Like even on this is a perfect example, like trim work. Heck, they could do trim at any point. So the drywall wrap, there's nothing that's going to hurt that drywall wrap. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly, sound. We've got a 10-year structural warranty on the home. So with all that being said, you can come in confidently with the quality of the structure and the craftsmanship that we offer.
Oh, any questions from those of you that are joining us? We love to answer questions. Feel free to try and challenge us. When I say us, I mean Joe.
I've been checking the Q&A in the chat, and we got a shy group today, I think.
Yeah. Well, should we let it play for a minute longer? I guess.
Yeah, we'll play it till the end, and then if you guys can think of any other questions, just chime in. We'll keep an eye on the Q&A and chat, and the good news is if you check out our YouTube channel for Adair Homes, you can see all sorts of different homes that have been completed, right? That are open houses, such as this one. We're trying to get back to the in-person open houses as well, but sometimes they're pretty far out from our service areas that make it really difficult. So we just try to be able to make sure that we can show you what we offer and what we do the best we can, whether it's virtual or in person. So
I would say frequently asked questions. So a lot of times when someone comes in and sits down with me for the first time, they think, or they have this feeling that they have to have all this cash up front. Like you have to either provide the land or pay cash for the land or pay cash for site prep and permits. So really common misconception. You can absolutely roll all of that into your construction loan. If you own the land or you have equity in land, there's opportunity for actually no cash down. So it could be you use your equity in lieu of your cash down payment. So surprisingly, not a big cash requirement up front. Adair's program is a standard 5% down if you don't own the land. So very manageable cash up front. And then there's also options for we touched really briefly on site prep and developing the property for the house. So if you're not one who's interested in kind of sourcing your own contractors or even doing some of the work yourself, if you want to be as hands-off as possible, maybe you're out of town, maybe this is an investment home. There's also options for what we call turnkey. So where Adair just jumps in and manages the entire project. Either route you go, your loan's intended to pay for it. So again, not an additional requirement for cash up front. Whether you're managing the site prep or we are. All right.
I don't see any questions or anything popping up in the chat. I think we covered a lot of stuff, and hopefully you found value in this open house today. We'd love to serve you or answer any questions you may have. We also do have online consultants that are available pretty much 24/7. So if you have a question, they'll loop you into Katie or myself or whatever build area you're specifically looking at. And that way we can answer those more in-depth tailored questions to whatever it may be, whether it's site development, whether it's like, hey, how do I start from ground one, and kind of what are the steps to success look like. Always keep in mind, we always put in a contingency for financing. So that's what a lot of people are like, gosh, what happens if I run over? Most banks are going to require 5 to 10% contingency of the total build of the home. So if it's a $400,000 build, 10%, 40,000 is your what if funds. So that's something to really keep in mind, that we really want you to have a successful build project, but we also want to, make you fully aware there are what ifs. Nobody can predict your piece of property if there's a bunch of rock, or, it all just depends on the terrain or the slope and development of the property. But that's why we have our experts come out to the property to do that site evaluation with our excavation crews. So we can really give you and kind of pinpoint down what you're going to be looking like for expenses, if it's a good property to move forward with, or, hey, let's go back to the drawing board and see what else is out there available for us. So.
Perfect. And I'll say, I guess, as a closing note, there's no prerequisites to talking to us. So you don't have to have the property in mind. You don't have to have financing worked out. If you're just wanting to know if this is a good option for you, call us, get online, talk to our online team. I mean, we're happy to be your starting point and kind of give you some direction.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. And it's a balmy 21 degrees here in Central Oregon. So
Very
I'll
nice.
probably get outside and, get a tan on. So.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for co-hosting, Joe. And we will see you all at the next one.
All right. Thank you all.